translates back into, I trust my leader, I can now productively continue, and productivity ultimately drives profit. So authenticity in leadership drives profit.
Besides driving profit, what are some of the other positive impacts that authentic leaders can create within an organization?
I think the biggest one for me is that you create an environment where people can trust each other. So you create what, as HR professionals, we like to call psychological safety, where everybody can bring themselves to work, where we trust that our intention towards each other are actually pure. And for me, I think that is the biggest one. The other thing, I think I spoke about it earlier, which we often underplay, because as we are climbing the corporate ladder, what happens is that there's an expected way that we actually teach people this is how you must show up if you want to progress. But when you are authentic as a leader, you give your people that freedom, to say, come as you are, and then let's do this together. You don't have a narrative that says a person must be a certain way in order for them to access certain levels in their career.
And then, Antoinette, what are then some of the red flags in an organization that should be a warning sign to you to possibly think maybe authenticity is an issue within the organization, and maybe we aren't as on the ball as we thought we were?
So I think the first sign is an unproductive team. So when a team doesn't stand together, they don't work together, they don't have the same direction, it's definitely closely linked back to authenticity, because what that means is that communication has been broken down. So communication also gives direction. So if a team has got direction, they have one goal, they know where they're going to, they all work together as that team. So I think the biggest red flag is where you see there's no teamwork, where there's no productivity, and when people are walking around not smiling anymore. It really means the motivation has done. So there's many other factors that can influence motivation in a team, but I think if there's no authenticity in leadership, a team struggles to be motivated, because what is the opposite of authenticity? Trust. So if a team cannot trust the leaders, they cannot be motivated.
There's an interesting question here. It reads, we've heard a lot of people say that corporate can change or corrupt you. What can leaders do to ensure that they remain relevant without losing who they are and their integrity?
That's an interesting question, because I think I once wrote about that, corporate corrupting us, changing who we are at the core. The biggest mistake that we make as HR professionals, I think, sometimes is to tell people that ignore the politics, you don't have to know, you're here to do your job and do it well. We need people who are able to navigate the political landscape within the organization, because that, when I know how to actually navigate, I'm not here to play the politics, but I understand what is happening in the organization. I know who I can reach out to get some support. I know who are the brains that I should be tapping into to get some insights. Therefore, I'm no longer forced to play the game, but I'm using the political landscape to my advantage, still retaining the authenticity, because we don't have to lose ourselves in order to get the best out of other people. And if we can teach our people, or I don't know if you can teach it, showcase it, role model it in the organization, we might contribute towards building an environment where our Gen Zs can thrive. We've been talking a lot about Gen Zs, that they will call us out, because they call us out when they see there's a difference between what we talk about and how we actually show up. So as leaders, when we start embracing authenticity, we are authentic, we are dealing with people from a pure intention, and we understand the political landscape and how to use it to our advantage, without actually putting other people into disadvantage, then we know that we haven't really corrupted who we are, but we're still getting the best out of the organization that we work for. The other thing is that sometimes we have to understand that in some organizations, you just have to walk away because there is no way that you can either grow within that organization because the culture is so toxic. So if you don't play the political game, then you're sort of like sidelined. So it's important to know, is there something that I can navigate, or is this time for me to actually walk away?
How then do we draw the line between being authentic and perhaps projecting your own beliefs, values, and experiences onto your colleagues?
So the one thing that we need to do, I think personal mastery becomes important. Because when you are aware of who you are, when you understand your biases, when you understand what triggers you, when you understand, sometimes you know that I'm actually responding from a place of fear. So you're able to know that actually this is not a reality. There's something that we call my story versus the reality. So we tell ourselves things about situations. Sitting here, I think it was Nene who spoke about the story that she started telling herself. It's because I'm a black woman, it's because I'm black, I'm a woman, and other stories that are running through our mind. So unless we are able to identify those as stories, we will find it difficult to actually find that thin line between the reality and perceived reality. And I think that is important. Hence, when we look at how we develop our leaders within the organization, I think it becomes really, really critical that we focus on having leaders who have mastered themselves, if I can call it that, because then I'm able to understand what is the impact that I have on other people, what triggers me as an individual, what are some of the biases, some of the beliefs that can be disablers in terms of how I relate with other people within the organization and outside. Because until we challenge those, we will always struggle to come from a place of authenticity.
There's a few comments from YouTube. The first one is directed to you, Antoinette. Tabiso asks, how has embracing authenticity in leadership contributed to transformation initiatives at Blue Label Telecoms?
So I think the first one in that was self-awareness. So we needed to be self-aware, what Pumuzo said about biases. We all grew up differently, we all have biases, and they're not negative. Some of the biases are positive, but I cannot push my values and my biases down on you just because that's my belief. So the first one was being self-aware of it, and the second one was empathy. And empathy, not, oh shame, I understand. Empathy, really putting myself in your shoes and really understanding what are you going through. And you said, how did that happen in Blue Label?
Yeah.
Have we arrived? No, we haven't arrived, because I don't think authenticity, empathy or self-awareness has got an end line. It's a start, and that's what you need to do, just start. And keeping each other accountable. So our leadership program is an inclusive leadership program. So although it's developed by us, it's embraced by the leadership, and it's cascaded by the leadership to the rest of the business. And when I say it's work in progress. This is what we're doing. But it was really self-awareness, including your leaders in the journey of cascading the values and these words or the leadership behaviors down to the rest of the business.
Sure. Pumuzo, a comment for you. In times of uncertainty, how can authentic leadership serve as a stabilizing force for organizational effectiveness?
I don't know if we can stabilize, but I think the one thing that you can give as a leader is, what is the word? It has escaped me. Sort of like comfort. To other people who are also struggling. Authenticity, I think there's one thing that I love Brené Brown's work when she talks about authenticity. You cannot talk about authenticity without talking about being vulnerable. So when you as a leader say, actually, I'm also destabilized, I'm not talking about us embracing just throwing our toys out of the court and just being an emotional wreck. I'm able to say I'm destabilized even though I've maintained my coolness, just vocalizing that to say, guys, you're not the only people who are going through this.
Yeah.
I also do not have the answers. When you're vulnerable as a leader, show yourself to say, I also don't know, but together, let's see what we can do as a whole. I think that provides a little bit of stability in terms of the emotions, because when you know that I'm not the only one who's anxious, I'm not the only one who do not have answers, you sort of feel like, wow.
There's
I
a
can
certain level of
breathe.
relatability
Yes,
as well.
there's a certain level of relatability.
Yeah, definitely. Let's open up the questions to our audience. There's a question over here at this table. The gentleman in the blue. Do we have a mic? Yes. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Sabelo Ngomalo, and I'm from Vector Logistics. So my question to Pomozo would be, would you say that the anti-fragility or the reason why people or the South African workforce has become lead resistant, is it because of the environment or is it an inherent quality? Thank you.
I think Pumuzo.
Thank you. That's a difficult question. And I hope I'll be able to give a clear answer. I think, like everything else, I do not have a clear, direct answer that can say this is the direct cause why we have a resilient, that's what you're asking, resilient work, resistance or resilient? Resilient workforce. So I think if you look, it depends, because sometimes, if I give an example with our organization, so we've got people that have been with the organization for longer. We are in a very volatile environment, things are changing quickly, so they are actually used to having things change that quickly. So somehow they've built that resilience. Then you've got a young workforce that came in excited, and then the rapid change that happens within the organization sort of like comes with a shock for them. So we've had to do some work to say, how do we support the new teams that are going through the change, meaning that we can see that the level of resilience is a little bit lower, and with our experienced workforce, the resilience is higher. So we've had the mix of having a very resilient and also some of our people struggling with resilience. So hence, authenticity as a leader help you to build the resilience in your younger workforce, because how I show up, it's role modeling a certain behavior, it becomes easy for other people to role model as well.
I know there was a couple of more hands. Can we just see, there's a question over here.
So, as HR leaders, often we are held at a different and at a high standard. How do you balance authenticity? How do we show up in our authentic self, knowing that there's a view that, oh no, you can't be behaving like that as a leader, or no, you can't be showing up, or you can't be vulnerable as an HR person? How do you manage that?
So I'll take that one. So I think that's exactly just that narrative that you said. No, we can't. That's a bias, because authentic self is being real, and real being yourself. So if you're authentic, you'll be yourself. Doesn't matter in what situation. So authenticity, you already have the values. Your own values shouldn't be that different from the values that's in the business. And if you show up with your values, you create the safe space. So people in HR, high regard, people will come to you, they'll trust you, they'll talk to you. And if that's the values that you display, you create that safe space for everyone. So it should never be a narrative like, oh, we can't be like that, leaders are supposed to be like that. It's something Pumutso said a little earlier. We've got such a narrative of what leaders are supposed to be. But I think COVID, and maybe even before COVID, but COVID has changed that completely. I believe strongly that leaders should be adaptive. They should be able to adapt to change quickly, and then we should be able to lead change. And if that's the two skills that we go forward with in the future of work, then of course we have to be authentic, because we have to be so stable in who we are that we'll be able to adapt to any situation. But we should never have the narrative that's how leaders should be. A leader should be you.
Thank you. There's a question here, the lady in the black and then the lady in the orange.
Hi, you may have already addressed this. I had to pop out for a minute, so if you addressed it, don't worry, I'll try and get the feedback from someone else. Earlier, Abigail asked you about the red flags, and this question was directed to, I think, is it Ronan? And you mentioned it's employee demotivation. So that would be the red flags from an employer perspective. What about from a candidate perspective? So if there's a candidate and they want to apply for a position, and there's a company that they're interested in, and the company seems to be interested in them, but they are looking out for red flags, where would they look to find out, is this a good company to go for, or is it a company that I'm going to go to that could, be very demotivating in the future, and I'd rather avoid it in the early stages. Because conversely, as an employer, I can navigate these platforms and just look around for any negative comments and devise strategies to address them, because we don't know everything. So I know if you search on Google, you might find some feedback, but most of the time that would be from employees who have left the company. Are there other platforms? How else do you recommend candidates find out more about the company, the culture, and the way the leadership team lead employees? Are they reliable? Are they trustworthy, etc.? Thank you.
So I think that, to me, we're borderless these days, because we're so digitized that there's no borders. Anyone can find anything. So firstly, if there's an annual report, if you're in a business, that annual report, it tells about everything, your culture and everything. But I think your employee brand out there, I know that we have all got social media policies, and you can't say this and you can't say that, but I think we need to rethink that, because if we are pushing authenticity, we should get the negative feedback as well. So our advice, and I'm talking from experience, we had candidates that actually looked us up and in the interview asked us really tough questions about what we put out on social media. So I think us as HR professionals, we all need to be very close to our social media platforms, see what our employees are saying. They're posting, they might post something, but there's a little bit of truth in it, because our candidates are definitely looking at it as well. And if you're caught in an interview and they ask that question and you don't have the answer, immediately they think you're not aware of what's going on in the business. So I think the biggest platform is all the social media platforms, but we have to be connected very closely to our social media platforms. We should actually encourage people to go and look at our social media platforms, and we should encourage our employees to go and interact with us on our social media platforms. And like I said, we had candidates and they asked us, and luckily we do look at our social media platforms, otherwise we would have been found wanting. But yeah, that's definitely the one. And there's red flags also. People talk about customers. There's customers that place complaints. Hello Peter is one of them, and if a customer is not happy with what we did, they'll put it up there. And I think that links to the values. So we all display our values on our websites, and what it means to our organization. Now, if that values are something that we live and it's part of our DNA in the business, our customers wouldn't talk on our social media differently from what we say our values are.
Yeah. Pumuzo, would you like to add to that?
So I just wanted to say the other thing that the delegates or the candidates can do is look at any organization on Glassdoor, and indeed, they really gave valuable feedback in terms of how their experience working in the organization was. So that's where our current employees go, or somebody who's come for an interview, they go and put a comment there. And as well, LinkedIn. So when an organization posts a job, and then a candidate goes in there like they are horrible, they never respond, and I think as HR professionals we should take that seriously, because that actually tells the person was on our side a little bit about ourselves than we want to share. And those questions, guys, we must learn to ask questions. You know, when you're a candidate, they're like, do you have any questions? Ask questions that are important for you. So if you're worried about collaboration, if you're worried about probably trust within the teams, ask questions that will help you to get answers to those questions. Because normally we use our experience to say, my experience with the previous organization was not good, the leader was autocratic, and so I already know the type of questions that I can ask that can give me a little bit of information about the leadership style of that manager.
Just a last question, quick question from my twin in the orange blazer, as promised. Go for it.
Thank you so much for a great discussion, the great panel discussion. My question is a bit of a personal one to both you ladies. How have you learned through experience in your quest to leading with authenticity and empathy and in trying to be relatable to know where to draw the line? You know, how do you know that this is oversharing? When does it become too much? When does it become you being too authentic or too real, especially in a professional setting? This is something that I personally struggle with.
That's a really good question. And my first answer to that's going to be with difficulty. So I'm going to give my age away a little bit. I grew up in business in an area where it was only male-orientated. So the first thing I did, we even went on those courses, dress well, dress in red and black. I'd done all of those things, and that was absolutely not authentic me. So I was trying to be one of the boys. And today, that's not the case, but you can try to be that leader. Try to be that leader. And that was my biggest lesson. Trying to be someone else is such hard work because I can't be productive enough and I cannot be motivated enough because I'm always trying to be something different, something I'm not. And that would be my first advice to you. Never try and be something else, just be you. And the other one was you try to be great. And you say, I'm not going to say anything, or I'm not going to show up. You say, how do I show up? I'm not going to show up because I'm not good at it yet. And my advice is just start. Because you don't have to be great at it to start. You have to start to be great at it.
Love that. Ladies, we've run out of time. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your insights. A round of applause for the ladies from Blue Label Telecoms. Right. So we are about to embark on our final point on the program this afternoon. It is a case study titled Beyond Pay, Unraveling Employee Satisfaction Beyond Compensation. We are going to explore the multifaceted nature of employee satisfaction that challenges the conventional belief that higher pay leads to happier employees. Please help me in welcoming our speaker, who is the executive for Benefits Wellbeing Recognition Group HR Reward at Nedbank, Daily Ramasia. There you are. Welcome. Thank you. My pleasure.
They always say it's a graveyard session.
Can you hear?
But a different methodology.
No, I think. Well, we removed that.
1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, cool.
Got it.
It looks like they fixed it. Yeah, I always say it's not a graveyard, they save the best for last, huh? So I have to encourage myself as well. After having half of the room leaving the conference. So, unfortunately, I'm going to start with a negative opening statement to say, with human beings, you can't satisfy them, but at least you can keep them content. But as a reward professional with 18 years of experience in the field, humbly, at a very difficult time where I was still size 26, in a room, introduced to the South African Rewards Association. And as a black female, we were about 4 in the room, and the rest were either white female, I think they could make up 10% of the attendees at the time, and 90% it was definitely white males. So we have to break the ceiling for other women to enter the space of reward. And since then, total rewards is a very complex environment in our environment as HR reward professional. And if you are a reward professional, you cannot approach reward like number stats. You need to understand your industry, your sector, legislation, financial, business, people strategy, talent strategy. Then you are able to manufacture the right products for your clients. Who are your clients? You are wrong. It's you. You don't want to be paid. Who wants to work for free? No one. So I'm just encouraging you that do not take yourself out of the equation. Otherwise, you are not authentic. And I'm saying I'm not going to work for free. And I want to say, first of all, reward is like a complex STEM Lego. Who have children? Do you buy them Legos? Do you know when you throw it on the ground, how complex is it? Then they said, bring somebody that can pack the spreadsheet for us. This is us. So I just want us to first reflect with authenticity, and I like what you said, be authentic. The evolution of reward offering, hashtag, the power to reflect in terms of where we are, where we come from, where we are, and as well as be purposeful and flexible and agile with the situational era we're living in. In the 1980s, even before I was born, people were supposed to be paid. I studied HR as my junior degree. I only read one line. It was in a book of business management. The people will be paid. Doing, I never knew that it will be my career after that. It was just one line. Whoever who studied HR, tell me where a module talks about total rewards or compensation. No, it was just one line. Pay the people. So there's an evolution of where we're coming from. During pre-1980s, people were paid. Maybe they were paid daily cash. Then during the 1990s, the rights in terms of people understanding their rights in the workplace, unions formed. Reward became still complex. Then in the 2000s, we started to be much more sophisticated, bringing all legislation, governance, all of these things into play to justify why people have to be paid the way they're paid. And I'm one person that says CEOs will never be overpaid. It's all about context, how you look at the way the CEO is paid. Then we are in the era of money is no longer a king, diversity and inclusion. It has been spoken by the gurus of these aspects of this topic. I'm not the guru of that, I'm a guru of reward. In the 22nd century, reward is not all about that. It's all about how we all become inclusive in nature to be able to see how we innovate and how we reward and became more flexible, more agile in terms of how we reward our people. Then the robots are coming as well because the person that will be coding that robot is a human being that says, I don't even have time to talk to you. I'll send my robots to deliver the products, and after that, please tap and pay. Before even the work is done, the robot will be saying, pay before I give you the last product. That is where we are going. That's the evolution of reward. What are the current challenges? I always go to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the iceberg theory to say, in any situation, reward is situational. And the people territory is all about how this pyramid plays out at a certain point of the organization and the individual, because that organization has been made by individuals, and the individuals run through this. During COVID, everybody's wanted a psychological needs because everybody wanted job security. Everybody wanted to be safe. Everybody wanted to have a medical aid. Nobody spoke about a bonus. Nobody spoke about an LTIP vesting. Nobody spoke about anything. But it was all about assurity and as well as safety and security of my role, my job, my psychological needs to be able to feed my family. And the iceberg theory, during that time, I remember I was still at AXA, case study. We used to work 18 hours every day, 2 hours for 5 months, because we were the gates of entry. And by that time, I was the acting HR executive. And every rule regarding the gates of entry has to come through our committee to be able to feed the National Control Center around COVID. At that point in time, nobody would think about pay. We all thought about our health. What I'm saying is that at that point in time, the iceberg theory is still relevant. HR people are being kept by projects. If you are not in projects, you are in meetings. And what do? Every difficult situation that you need to encounter as an HR professional, within the context of reward, you defer your position to say, go to REM. And then REM makes an unpopular decision. After that, you say, no, REM said this. You can't say, but I say this. Then BCG amplified my point. I think it is 3 days ago. This was done by BCG right now. If you can go to that. The slides are basically for reminding me. 72% of the participants in the BCG survey says they're either facing people challenges or talent gaps. Why? Because talent these days have a choice. Either you give them the right package and the right environment and the right benefits they want. And these days, we need to be flexible and customize the benefits. The other research from McKinsey says new rules of attraction and retention is that gone are those days when simply focusing on compensation, job titles, and financial security will never be enough. And that is true. Why? Because right now we've got diverse people coming into the world of work, external and intrinsic. Things that are competing with each other. We're competing on age, we're competing on, I was listening to different generational ages. Why do you have to do a policy making about the Gen Z? Now you are discriminating. It's all about how do you adapt because you've got a Gen Z at home. How do you adapt with that Gen Z when they say, but this is how my benefits will be structured? Are we agile enough to be flexible? Can we be authentic and be practical about what we want to do? There's a lot of stats that are running behind here. So everybody's motive acts on behavior in terms of what we give and what we receive, and as well as the trade-off. And compensation and as well as reward in employee satisfaction and employee experience is a difficult complex. Tomorrow you're giving me this, I'm satisfied. 3 months down the line, the medical aid was not paid. Then you went down the drain. Shoop! I'm not satisfied. Am I right? Those are real issues. And I'm not going to create artificial issues. Tomorrow, your line manager gives you a 3, your bonus is not coming right, and you are so furious. But you forgot 6 months ago you got what? What we call half-yearly increased salaries, and my boss was great. After 6 months, you get a 3. You're no longer happy. Then your engagement level drops. So what does it mean by that? Sorry for that. In terms of the X factor opportunity, number 1, I've learned this model at Henley when I was doing my MBA. It's a very powerful model. If you've studied system thinking theory, you will understand the critical connections about pay, compensation, beyond is driven by a number of factors. If you know your people and your talent and your workforce segmentation, you make our job as reward professional easy. And in the past, when I used to hold the entire portfolio of reward, I used to ask, buy, build, and borrow, and everybody would be like, what does that mean? Because for every talent you bring, there's a specific needs that you need to address. As long as you operate within the parameters of your policies, your procedures, and have a justifiable pay of differentiation. One person has asked me, how do you then create that path model? back to basics. Remember, you are creating this for human beings. You are also human. There's a Tani, yesterday's daso, who's cooking just pap and gravy and serve it with love. That thing is so nice. Then there is a woman who's swearing all the way to give you pap and gravy. You eat it, it's not enough. One is how you communicate, how you present it to your employees, because you cannot give and give and give and give. Employee satisfaction goes very powerfully and very well with effective communication and guidance. 2, always follow this model to ask yourself, where am I? Right now, we are in an era of global talent mobility. We are competing left, right, and center. And I promise you they can give you the slide because they are so heavily packed. Everything that I'm saying, you can Google it, insights, data, everything you can get in there. I'm just gonna run through it. We are living in a big world of mobility, global mobility, but the key question is what will make you stand out from the rest? 1, variable pay. Yes, people receive variable pay. Then what? So what? Who are you creating it for? When was the last time you reviewed your variable pay? For who are you reviewing it for? And sometimes people think that variable pay, it's a bonus. Sometimes it's recognition. You don't have money to pay bonuses as an organization, but you can create an experience of a recognition program where every year you celebrate great, great, great rainmakers of your organization. Sense of belonging. Everybody wants a sense of belonging. I can see my policewoman is here. Sense of belonging, new ways of work, and as well as competence and skills. Those are the ones that engages people. What do we do at Nedbank? You can have this. A great space to be. We drive choice, we drive flexibility, we engage with our employees. We are on track all the time. We are pushing. I know I'm 6 months in the organization, but they already made my blood to be green already. And why? Is because they've got one program that stands out, that runs the organization to be the employer of choice, which is the top achiever, where the top achievers, the CEO, will fund that program for people to go all over the world, well paid, with all the incentive, even the pocket money. And they will enjoy with their families, just to go and say, thank you for sacrificing your time and efforts for us to be where we are and to achieve our strategy. There's so many ways to skin a cat. Not all about money. Remember, we are delivering value for human beings when we do total rewards. I don't have the answer, but as you build your Lego, you will get your answer, fortunately. Takeaways, I'm not gonna read it. The one that stood out for me is that one that says, gather all employees and make them part of your co-creation of exactly what they need. And after that, have the ability to go back and say, I can do it or I can't do it, and create that greater experience from a reward professional and reward offering for all employees in your organization. And it starts with you before you are able to take it to the rest of the business. And most of the time, I always encourage, especially HR leaders, not to defer complex pay conversation to RAM professionals because it shows the weak system of handling what we call crucial conversation. In my previous employer, the previous one, and I can make an example, he's sitting here, he used to be an HR manager of the biggest airport in this country. Every pay where they are so afraid to tell a person no, they will say, Daily said no. So I'm encouraging you, say no within the principle of justifiable reason why you're saying yes or why you're saying no. And remember, reward people are bulls. Huh? We will come and tell you, you won't get it, Mr. Line Manager, let's look at another solution. You know, those are the things that excite in the reward space. So we are really here for you as reward professionals from Esara, and as well as from a Nedbank. If you want to come and engage with one of our engagement teams or reward teams, you feel free to do that, because we are really, really moving the dial in terms of creating that great X factor, and as well as bathing our processes to be relevant and also to be projected for the future. Because Uncle Daka says, if you want to predict the future, create it. Otherwise, they will create it for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daly. We appreciate your time. Unfortunately, we are out of time, so we aren't going to take any questions, but thank you so much for sharing your insights.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Daly Ramasia, Executive for Benefits, Wellbeing Recognition, Group HR Award at Nedbank. So, we are slowly approaching the official closing of this two-day conference, and what an amazing time it's been. But before we announce the winners of our various giveaways, please help me in welcoming the visionary leader at Topco Media, the reason why platforms like the Future of HR Conference and Awards 2023 exists, the CEO of Topco Media, Mr. Ralph Fletcher.
Wow. There we go. Thank you. So it's so great to see so many of you here still. I think it's obviously coming to a close of 2023. Some of the things we mentioned about cultivating a future together, about improving ourselves and our organizations, I think this has been some amazing topics and speakers, from energizing ourselves to mindset to, really celebrating our culture. Celebrating our talent in Africa as well. So I'm not sure what the three things that you got most from this event are. So what are the three things that you think you got from this event? Was it mindset? Was it culture? Was it leadership, authentic leadership? And what's the one thing that you're going to implement in your companies, with your teams tomorrow? Because really coming to these conferences and meeting people are important, but it's around execution and how we're making things better for our companies. So on that note, I obviously want to thank each and every one of our speakers, because frickin' hell, weren't they amazing, really? Thank you to our sponsors, Relabel, Mandate Menefe. Thank you to all of our partners. We are very, very, very grateful. So thank you to them. But most of all, thank you to you guys. You are our community. We are the people that you're serving. I've spoke to some of the people here today. I'd love to hear from many more of you. I think for us, we are always looking to make this event more relevant for you. So, we're looking forward to seeing you in 2024. There is going to be some networking happening. So one of the things is that we see ourselves as a vehicle to bring you together. But the real magic happens when you collaborate with each other and you lean on each other. So I encourage you to do that. And lastly, I'd like to thank our MC, Abigail, because didn't she do an amazing job, everybody? Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
I think it's definitely time to get to the closing. Even my mic has fallen off. So we are going to get to a very exciting part of the program. As promised, thank you so much. As promised, there's quite a few giveaways that we are going to get into. But before I get to that, how phenomenal has the past 2 days been? It's been an absolute pleasure having all of you here. We've learned, we've absorbed wealth of knowledge. We've heard from various HR heroes. But now really, and after this, is the time to implement, right? To go back to your various organizations and back to the drawing board and figure out how you're going to implement all of the amazing things that you've learned here at the 2-day conference. We've really hit our theme, which is Culture 3.0, navigating the future of work. And I really hope that you have found your time here spent with us valuable. We're going to get into the announcement of our winners now, very exciting part. So can we have the BEE 123's Mikhail Webster on stage to hand over the prize? The winner has won a 60,000 Rand worth of employment equity software. And we are going to announce that lucky winner right now. How exciting. Welcome. Do you have the winner there? Do you want to announce it?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So, the winner of the 60,000 Rand in employment equity software is Constance Coupe. Congratulations, Constance. Come and collect your prize. We're going to need a louder round of applause, guys. There's more prizes. Don't be like that. Come through. We need to take a picture. Let me put this in my pocket for now. Congratulations. Please join us. Our very first winner. Yeah, let's take a picture. There we are. The camera's right there in the center. Congratulations. Enjoy. There you go. Thank you very much to our sponsor, BEE 123, as well. All right. So our next giveaway is a Garmin device, as promised on day one. I'm going to ask Bernice Gaines from ULife to come forward so we can draw our next winner. The more you clap, the luckier you become, so let's hear it. Welcome. Should I? Okay. Let's see. This one feels lucky. So, the winner of the Garmin device, courtesy of ULife, is Bongani Xulu. Is he here? Bongani Xulu. Should we draw another one? Okay. Unfortunately, Bongani lost out. Not being present. Oh. Should we? Okay, so the winner of the Garmin device is Lee Greenblatt. Yes, Ray, you're a winner. Where were you going to? Welcome.
Look down. We're spinning all around.
Picture opportunity, let's take a photo.
Look in, look out.
There we go. Congrats.
This is what it's all about. Every chance you'll ever take, running down this rainbow road. Every dragon heart you break, every hand you'll ever hold. Every time you really
Thank you.
where you are.
Congrats, guys. Okay, so we still have a few more prizes. Let's give away the Country Road voucher to the value of 1,000 Rand. Who wants to win this one? Quite a few ladies want this one. I might just keep this one for myself, maybe. What do you guys think? Okay, no. The winner is Abigail Fasahi. Congratulations to... Kidding. The real winner of the 1,000 Rand Country Road voucher is Mabato Tlale. Mabato, are you here? No? Are we going to get this to Mabato at a later stage? Okay. Ladies are not happy. What should we do? Okay, let's move over to the next one while we decide what's going to happen with the Country Road voucher. One second.
That's where you are. Up in the stars. That's where you are. That's where you are. Up in the stars. That's where you are.
Fun. The lady who is going to win the 1,000 Rand voucher from Country Road is the lady who can go into their handbag the fastest, find their perfume, and bring it to me. Let's see. Fastest feet first. Fastest feet first. Congratulations. Do you mind if I just, it's been a long day. Congratulations. Oh, yes, your picture, of course. Fastest feet first, right? You were lucky you were close by. Another lady almost had you. She was this close.
This smells so good.
Thanks to you. Congratulations. All right, not to worry. We have 1, 2, 3 prizes left. So, up next is a 1,000 Rand voucher courtesy of Exclusive Books. Where are our avid readers who'd love a 1,000 Rand voucher from Exclusive Books? Okay, let's see if this person's here. Otherwise, we're going to have another quick fun one. The Exclusive Books voucher winner is Joy Tsosane. One of our most engaging guests. I've been seeing you, and I appreciate you. Congratulations. Come up. Come up. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Let's get pictures.
You can't fight it, you can't breathe. You said something so loving, but now I gotta let you go. You'll be better off with someone new.
There we go. Congratulations. Ooh. All right. Let's see. Ooh. Up next is the 1,500 Rand iStore voucher. So if you perhaps had your eye on a iPad or not, earpods or something like that, this could go to your contribution, 1,500 Rand. Let's see if this winner's here. Our winner of the 1,500 Rand iStore voucher is Shanaz Kaji.
I just wish that I could give you that.
Oh, another one of our most engaging. I'm so happy for you.
Late nights in the middle of June. You always been faking me out.
What are you gonna get?
You always been faking me out.
Yes. Okay, congratulations.
Sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. You always been faking me out.
Thank you so much. All right. Let's see. All right, so up next, we are giving away 2 golden tickets to our awards dinner tonight. And those 2 tickets go to Hawa Lakana of GQ Tissue and Daniel Sneyman, AstraZeneca Pharmaceuticals. Are you both here? Yes, congratulations. You'll be joining us this evening. These tickets are worth 12,000 Rand, so big congratulations. Yes, we need to take a picture.
I don't usually get so out of my head, walking the edge, what am I falling into? I mean, again, where do we land? Tell me, is it too soon? Losing my cool, picking my rose, going crazy over it. I know you say you're not afraid to
Okay.
dive into something. You got nothing to lose, but I'm not.
I just want to make sure I've got this right.
Taking my sweet time. Don't wanna be the one to cry.
So I'm going to need Letitia Pillay from NMG to please join me on stage so we can hand over one more prize.
Tell me, is it too soon? Losing my cool.
Welcome.
Thank you. cliche when you walk into the room, and I can't think straight. There's no one like you, but I want the chase.
Oh, this is the winner.
This feeling with you.
Okay,
Don't walk away from this.
so we have a winner. The winner. Yes, tell us. But okay, wait. We need to get you a mic, because I don't think this one's working. Let's get a mic to stage, please. Okay, sounds exciting. There we go.
Hi, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for the platform.
Of course.
So I am Letitia Pillay from NMG Benefits. We are the experts.
Hold on, can we hear? I think let's see if it's on.
No.
It is
There's-
on. Testing, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. There we go. Yes.
Shall we do this again? Can you all hear me? Okay, cool. So before I go off on a tangent, thank you for the platform. I am Letitia Pillay from NMG Benefits. We are specialists in employee benefits across the spectrum with lots of innovative tools to enhance and strengthen your EVP. And today, because this was a golden thread throughout the 2-day sessions, we decided to put up for grabs our Smart ALEC financial literacy tool for one lucky winner and their employees. So this gives them the ability to learn and uplift their financial literacy through a WhatsApp-enabled tool. It's as simple as chatting to a friend. It's Africanized stories. You choose an avatar. It's really fun and really cool, and we're here to give that away to your employees. So it's rolled out to your entire staff base, and we're happy to assist you with the onboarding and the communication of this. It's an amazing tool, and we are so excited to deliver
How
it
fantastic.
to...
Round of applause, lady. That's an exciting prize. So
Absolutely.
I'd have you announce the winner.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, drum rolls, please. As a winner, the person whose company or staff are going to be able to uplift their lives and become more financially literate through our WhatsApp-enabled tool is Zukiswa.
Zukiswa Adenuba.
Adenuba.
There we are. Congratulations. You're a winner.
Don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how.
Picture.
Don't start caring about me now.
Congratulations. The camera's over there.
I'm not there, you love me at
All right. The rest of the winners will be emailed, so you still have an opportunity and you still have a chance. So the best of luck to you. Before we wrap up, I just want to say a quick thank you once again to our sponsors, who without today and yesterday would absolutely not be possible. Please could I have all of us stand as we give a round of applause to all of our sponsors: Proconics, Blue Label Telecoms, keep it going, ladies and gentlemen, Mandate Molefe, our showcase partners, Gibbs, BEE 123, Wits Commercial Enterprise, Fundi Capital, Don't Stop, New Life, Prime Media Outdoor, British Chamber of Business Southern Africa, BPESA, Nestle, GQ Tissue, PTY Ltd. Again, I want to thank all of our sponsors who are on stage as well. I would also like to say a special thank you to Proconics. So that is the end of the 2-day conference. You don't need to leave just yet. We still want you to network, mingle. You can do so outside in the Expo Center. But it's been a fabulous time moderating and emceeing for you over this 2 days. We are Culture 3.0. I am Abigail Fasahi, and this has been the Future of HR Conference 2023. I'll see you again next year. Take care. Enjoy.
till we were upside down. I got now. No, I ain't too proud. I couldn't be there, even when I tried. You don't believe it. We do this every time. Seasons change and love will go. Feed the flame 'cause we can't let it go. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, I dare you to do something. I'm waiting on you again, so I don't take the blame. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, run away, run away. I got a feeling that it's time to let go. I say so. I knew that this was doomed from the get-go. You thought that it was special, special.